Hi everyone, this is Darcy, and today I'm going to talk about microcurrent don'ts. What not to do when you're using microcurrent devices, which can actually really help to get the best results too. And on my channel, I talk all about beauty, feeling healthy and happy. So if you like videos like this, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you know when I'm posting new videos. And we are live, but on all my live videos, I structure as a regular video. So if you're watching this as a playback, I always have timestamps below so you can jump anywhere in this video because we're going to cover a lot of great information, so you don't want to miss any of it. So now let's jump right in it. So first I'm going to give you a really quick overview of what microcurrent is. And I talk a lot about microcurrent on my channel because it's one of my favorite modalities, because microcurrent uses a gentle current to actually reach your muscle and lift your face gently at home, and also affects your skin on a cellular level, increasing ATP, really helping to give you a glow and a youthful face, which is also preventive as well as corrective. So I stand by microcurrent is one of my favorite modalities. And I have lots of videos talking about how to get the best results of microcurrent, which I'll leave all in the description box below. But on this video, I'm going to talk about things I have not talked about in my other videos. And what inspired me to do this video for you guys is actually your own questions. A lot of questions you guys have are great, and that's why I love these lives. So make sure you put your questions at the chat, and we can get into the chat after I'm done with the video, because you guys have great questions. So your questions actually inspire me to do this video, because there are a lot of things that you cannot do while you do a microcurrent that affects your treatment and are very important to know. And that's what I'm going to cover today. I'm going to actually give you 7 things that you should not do while you're using a microcurrent, and these things are really important for you to get the best results and also for your health. So very important. So now let's get to tip number 1. Don't wear metal jewelry while you're doing microcurrent treatment, because metal, guys, is conductive and microcurrent is an electrical current. No, you're not going to get electrocuted while you use metal when you're doing microcurrent, but I'm actually purposely using these big rings here, big earrings, to show as an example that when you use your earrings or any piercing or necklace that have metal, what can happen is that the current that you're using with microcurrent can actually cause some uncomfortable. It's not going to electrocute you, but it could cause some zapping or some other uncomfortable things. But the most important thing is that when you use jewelry, metal, piercing or necklaces while you're doing microcurrent, it can actually take away from your results from using microcurrent. So it's a very simple, subtle thing, but make sure you take all your jewelry, all your necklaces, all your earrings, and any piercings that you may have on your face before you do microcurrent treatment. And all the tips, by the way, will work with any of your microcurrent devices. Doesn't matter which microcurrent you have. This is a very important tip. And I wonder too, just as a side note, because I get questioned about the Bear all the time, because the Bear has an anti-shock feature. I have never been shocked by the Bear, and this is the first Bear that ever came out. By the way, guys, I have this for a year. I'm just including this category because I get questions a lot about people getting zaps from the Bear, and I wonder if you are getting zaps if you're wearing jewelry, because again, it's such a simple thing to forget that can actually matter on your treatment. It can cause some zaps and also can cause you to not get the best results. So yes, make sure if you're getting zapped with the Bear, because it has an anti-shock feature, you should not be zapped. And I continue using the Bear 4 years, never been zapped. So I want to include in this video because it got me thinking, as I'm troubleshooting your questions, what could be causing that? So let me know if you are getting zapped with your Bear, if you're wearing jewelry, metal jewelry. So make sure you take it off, and that includes for any microcurrent devices, not just the Bear, but it's something to keep in mind so you're not conducting the electricity on the metal of your jewelry and affecting your results, and can also cause some uncomfortable. I think you should be okay to be with your ring, because I usually do a microcurrent wearing my wedding ring, and it's fine. But jewelry in general, take it off before your microcurrent and then put it off right after. So let me know if you have questions about this. Let's go to tip number 2. Don't use with retinol or acids. And this is a recent question, because microcurrent helps any of your serums or things that you use before microcurrent actually affect your results, because you are actually pushing your ingredients deeper into the skin. Microcurrent not only lifts the muscle, helps on a cellular level, but whatever ingredient you put on your skin as you do your microcurrent treatment gets pushed deeper. For that reason, you cannot use with retinols or acids, because in general, especially retinol, is something that stays on your skin for a while. So if you use microcurrent with retinol, it will push it deeper into your skin layer and it could cause some irritation, some adverse reactions. So if you are somebody that uses retinols or acid, just don't use it before your microcurrent. Make sure you use it, in the evening, not with your treatment. That is very, very important to use serums that have safe ingredients. So when you do microcurrent, you're pushing the serum and the ingredients deeper into your skin without causing any irritation. And that can also apply to vitamin C as well. Again, acids or salicylic acids or any other type of acids. So be careful with that so you don't get any irritation from microcurrent, because it is very safe, but you do not want to do that so you don't cause irritation. So no retinols, no acids, and be careful with vitamin C serums as well, because vitamin C can also irritate your skin if it's too deep into your skin. So that's why a lot of serums are made to not cause irritation. So it's something to keep in mind. What you use of microcurrent, make sure you use gentle things, gentle ingredients, and stay away from retinol, acids, and vitamin C serums when you're doing your treatment. So now let's get to number 3. Don't use it on too high setting. This one, I have talked about it before, but it's so important that I want to include in this video because it's definitely not to do. Especially if you're starting microcurrent, you may be tempted to start on the highest setting because you may think higher is better and you're going to get better results. But actually with microcurrent, less is more, especially if you're starting. But even if you are using microcurrent for a while, if you are doing microcurrent in different parts of your face, sometimes you may need to change the current. What is good for the rest of your face may not be good for the eye area. And a good thing to pay attention is when you do microcurrent, you should not feel anything. True microcurrent doesn't really feel like anything because it's a gentle current that actually mimics your body current. So when you do a microcurrent, I get this question a lot. I'm not feeling anything. It's not working. Then you may be tempted to raise up the settings to actually feel it, and then you may feel like you're getting better results, but that is not so. The true best results of microcurrent is to start slow. Even if you don't feel it, that means it's working. And be patient and use good techniques. And again, I have lots of tips on my channel. But this is such an important tip because starting on a higher setting can actually give you muscle fatigue. It can actually give you not the best results and is not ideal. So whenever you're doing your microcurrent device, especially when you're in the eye area, it's often good to even lower your current that you're using, because sometimes in the rest of your face you can use a higher setting and you don't feel any twitching and you don't feel anything. Go ahead and continue with the higher setting, because a good way to know if you're in too high setting is if you actually feel the current or if you feel any muscle twitching. If you feel any muscle twitching, lower the current. And a lot of times you're doing a current level with any of the devices that you have, and then when you get to your eye area you start feeling twitching or twitching on here. That means it's too high of a current. So lower the current and then get used to the current. It doesn't mean you cannot get higher later. As your muscles get used to it, you will be able to get to higher levels. But starting low would actually give you the best results. So don't start on a higher setting and don't go to higher settings to feel the current, because you are actually doing the opposite of what you should do. Microcurrent, you should not feel it. So don't use on high settings. Very, very important if you want to get the best results. So now let's get to, let me see. Okay. Oh, yes. Number 4, don't use with oils. As we were talking about things you should not use with microcurrent, this is a very important one. And something that can actually go unnoticed, because sometimes, guys, we can actually have cleansers like face washes that have oils, and that can interfere with your results as well. Because a lot of times we think about not using microcurrent with oils, meaning obviously you cannot use microcurrent with face oils because oil creates a barrier on your skin so the current will not be able to penetrate. You have to use microcurrent with water-based serums, which I talk about in many videos. But one thing to keep in mind is that includes also face cleansers. Face cleansers that contain oil can also interfere with your treatment and results. So keep in mind when you're doing microcurrent treatment, use a gentle cleanser, use water-based serums, and stay away from oils. Sometimes you can use face masks with microcurrent that have oils all the way down the ingredient list. That should be okay. But I usually stay away from it because you want to get the best results from your treatment, so stay away from oils, especially facial cleansers, which is something I have not talked about on my channel, and that's why I included on this video. Because a lot of times as we're taking our makeup out, we can use, balms and oils to get all the makeup out of our faces. So if you do that, make sure you follow up with a regular gentle cleanser. Make sure your face is completely clean of oils so it will not affect your treatment. That is very, very important. Now, number 5, don't use unbroken or sensitive skin or skin that have any injuries. And this is a very important one too, guys, because microcurrent, if you use it on a sensitive, if your skin has sensitivity, or if you had like an acid treatment, or if you've done microneedling as well, do not use microcurrent on top of that. If you do, you're going to cause your skin to be more irritated, more red, and you're not going to get the best results. So if you want to use microcurrent, any of your microcurrent devices with microneedling, which is a modality that actually causes microchannels on your face so you can get better treatments, better results from your serums, I would not suggest to do microcurrent after microneedling or after a peel or after your skin is visibly red or you have any injuries on your skin, because it will actually cause more irritation and will not give you the best results. If you want to use microcurrent with microneedling or other, acid things, try not to do in the same day. Or if you really want to do your microcurrent with microneedling, do it before microneedling, which is always best to do microcurrent as a last, step on any modalities, because microcurrent trains your muscle on the lifted position. But if you must do microcurrent with microneedling, do before and not after. And depending on the type of microneedling that you do, if you do needling, you can try maybe waiting a day in between, to do your microcurrent. That way your skin doesn't have any sensitivity. Or if you do cosmetic microneedling, you may have to wait like a week or 2. Depending on the type of microneedling that you do, pay attention to your skin, not just microneedling or injuries, and do not go over with microcurrent on any open wounds or injuries on your skin, because it will cause some irritation. So that is something to keep in mind not to do as well. So now let's see number 6, which is a question I get all the time. Don't use microcurrent too soon after injectables. And this is a very, very important question, because I know a lot of people use injectables. I actually don't have any Botox or fillers, but a lot of people do that as part of their skincare, part of their anti-aging, which is okay. I choose to use tools which can actually give you great results, but it will never be exactly the same as injectables. So if you do use injectables, yes, you can use microcurrent, but you have to wait. Don't do it too soon. Wait at least 2 weeks, because when you do injectables, you're going to have either Botox or fillers still in the area. So you don't want to use microcurrent not to move anything from your treatment. And then after 2 weeks, it should be safe to use microcurrent. It can actually make your results last longer and really help your skin. Because when you use injectables, a lot of times you are, which is something that I've learned recently, you actually, I know that you are, paralyzing your muscles. But when you paralyze your muscles, sometimes you can create wrinkles in other areas, guys, which is something I read recently, because it's my choice not to do Botox or injectables, but I know a lot of people do, and that's why I like researching for you guys. So the truth is, when you do those things, sometimes you are, immobilizing the muscle in one area, but you're still moving in another area, which often can create wrinkles on other areas and also can make the muscle kind of lazy because it's not being used. So if you have injectables or fillers, if you have injectables, this kind of applies more for like Botox, and you are immobilizing your muscle, wait 2 weeks, and it's really beneficial to incorporate microcurrent, because you're actually stimulating the muscle even though it is frozen, so the muscle doesn't get lazy. It will be stimulated, because we actually don't know the long-term effects of Botox, but that's something that could be preventive since you are actually stimulating the muscle. And you're also working on the other areas of your face that don't have Botox, that maybe you don't put the Botox there, and that sometimes that muscle being mobilized can create wrinkles somewhere else. So using microcurrent can help stimulate the muscle, lift the other muscles that don't have the injectable, so you can get the best results all over your face. And I even read that can even extend the use of Botox or injectables. But it is something to keep in mind. Wait 2 weeks. Don't do it too soon. That way you can get the best results. Another thing I want to mention that I've noticed when I do my microcurrent treatments is that I don't have fillers. But sometimes as we get older, we get under eye hollows here as we're losing, fat pads and bone pads, and then we end up developing hollows. If you have those hollows and you don't want to resort to fillers, a good treatment to do is do microcurrent to lift your cheeks. Because I've noticed that personally, whenever my cheeks are more lifted or more full, my under eye hollows get filled up. And this happened recently with a tool I started using, which is not microcurrent, but it does plump up your cheeks. But even when I don't use the tool, which I'll be reviewing soon, just doing microcurrent for your cheeks really help to fill this area. If you don't want to resort to fillers under the eye, which is a very delicate area, try that. But if you do, wait 2 weeks before you do microcurrent if you decide to do fillers or injectables. That is very important. It's a question I get all the time, so I wanted to definitely include in this video of what not to do. So now now that I have the 7 tips, let's go to the 7th. I almost forgot. We're live, so let's get to the 7th. Don't use on the thyroid area. And that is a very important one, guys, because the thyroid area is our Adam's apple here, this area here, which most tools you're not supposed to use on this area because the thyroid secretes hormones and you don't want to overstimulate this thyroid. Even certain massages are not advisable to do it here. But this actually applies to most microcurrent devices. There are some microcurrent devices that say you can use in the thyroid area. So read your device information because there are different currents and different waveforms that might be safe for this area, but most of the ones on the market are not, or if they are, read each tool specifically, but in general, most are not safe to use in the thyroid area because microcurrent goes really deep. So if you use it on this area, it can overstimulate your thyroid and it cannot be good for your health. So it's something to keep in mind. In order to treat your neck, you can treat the sides of your neck, make movements to the side, up and down, just not in this area right here, which is your thyroid. So that is something to keep in mind. And now I have a bonus tip for you guys that is also very important, is to don't use microcurrent with certain medical conditions. And this is a really important thing, guys, that I find that it applies to all tools, but specifically microcurrent, because microcurrent is very gentle, it's very safe for all ages, really. But you have to read the contraindications because there are things in certain medical conditions that you cannot use with microcurrent. That applies to all microcurrent tools that have electricity. First of all, if you're pregnant, you cannot use microcurrent, which is something I struggle because I love microcurrent, and when I had my pregnancies, I had to stop. Very, very important. Even early in the pregnancy is not advisable. So always good to, if you're trying to get pregnant, to keep an eye on that and not use microcurrent devices if you're trying to get pregnant or if you're pregnant, because sometimes we don't know we're pregnant. So it's something to keep in mind. Very, very important. Another thing is if you have cancer or if you have any metal implants or conditions like seizures, if you're prone to seizures or heart conditions, there are a lot of things, especially that you have, if somebody have medical conditions, that you should always check with your doctor because it may not even be on the contraindication. But even if you have certain medical conditions, always check with your doctor. In general, it's always good to check with your doctor before you start any tools, even something as safe as microcurrent. But definitely if you have heart conditions or pacemaker, anything that can get affected by electrical current, make sure you check with your doctor. And I will put the contraindications list or links on the description box so you can go check. But again, with any tools, always good to check with your doctor. Even with a tool as safe as microcurrent, is very, very important to do that. And that is really something that I wanted to talk about because I know a lot of people ask me that too. If you have like metal implants on your face, on your head, not a good idea, or brain aneurysms or something like that. So always check with your doctor as well. If you have braces, You can use microcurrent. I mean, that is not a medical condition, but I get that question a lot. But you may be a little uncomfortable because the metal, can actually conduct. So you could put like cotton on the braces while you're doing microcurrent devices to shield. And that also applies to dental implants, which I get questioned a lot. You can use with microcurrent. It can be a little uncomfortable when you're going over the dental implant. So if you have dental implants, you can use it, especially because it's just going to be in certain areas. So you can either avoid the area when you're doing your treatment, like avoid going right on top of it, or when you go right on top of it, either put your tongue on it to shield a little bit the current, or avoid the area altogether. Or you can put cotton. Cotton can be a little uncomfortable because it gets all, cottony, but you can use your tongue or just avoid the area and use on the rest of your face. So that is something to keep in mind, but always check with your doctor. Always also pay attention to how you feel. If you feel anything unusual, also ask your doctor. But microcurrent is really safe. It's a very gentle current. It should not cause any discomfort. If you are actually feeling the current, that means you are too strong. So just keep in mind and observe yourself. And I have tons of video on what to do to get the best results of the microcurrent, and I'll leave those videos on the description box below or anywhere in the screen, so you guys can also watch of what to do. And I cover a lot of things that I haven't talked about in this video. So if you are doing your microcurrent treatments and you're not getting the best results for any reason whatsoever, watch those videos. I cover a lot of things because I want you guys to get the best results, and that applies for any microcurrent tool that you have because it does work. I love microcurrent. I've been using it for many years. It's one of my favorite modalities. So check out those videos as well if you want even more tips and more things that you can do to get even better results. So now I'm going to go into the chat, and if you're watching this as a replay, I may or may not include the chat. But if you guys have any questions, you can always write on the comments below. And I love hearing from you guys. You inspire me to do videos like this, to answer your questions and hang out. And I'm still moving. Partially, part of my studio is moved, part of it is not. So that's why I'm not as set on my schedule of lives, but I'm doing lives every week. So make sure you subscribe and check the notifications so you can get notified. I'm often going live, like sometimes 10 minutes. I give you 10 minutes heads up. It's just because I'm still trying to figure out my schedule as I'm moving. But once I move to the new location, I'm going to start doing lives every week on the same time. So make sure to check on the notifications so you can get notified and we can hang out and ask more questions if anything wasn't clear for you guys. And if this was helpful, please make sure to give me a like. It really helps my channel. I love you guys so much. I hope you're healthy and safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.